This year's theme, the year of reinvention, is so perfect, as 2020 has certainly challenged the way many of us live, work, and run our businesses. My name is Tom Peck, the Executive Vice President and Chief Information and Digital Officer at Ingram Micro. We're a $50 billion global leader in technology distribution, supply chain, 3PL, and technology services. We service over 250,000 customers in 160 countries with nearly 200 logistics and services centers around the globe. Many have said in the pandemic, or the virus economy, as some of you call it, that you need to accelerate digital transformation. But what does digital transformation really mean? And accelerate implies that you weren't already moving fast. In a world where technology is so pervasive, I'd like to share a few techniques and best practices that can yield the winning formula. Getting agile and nimble fast, telling your digital transformation story so that it ignites passion, and leveraging the power of the ecosystem. At Ingram Micro, we move physical SKUs, and a lot of them. We're a top 10 global shipper and move over 550 million units per year. But our industry is at an inflection point. With so much emphasis now on digital relationships and customer experience, we're seeing a fundamental shift in the B2B world towards a more B2C-like customer experience. We've always known what the research has said, that companies that are customer-focused grow faster. We have a call to action, but we had this call to action long before the pandemic, and it was all centered around the customer, the digitally empowered customer who was much more interested in the experience rather than the simple transaction. Research shows that global B2B e-commerce is not only larger, but growing faster than B2C e-commerce. But there are several fallacies that many of us need to know and overcome. Conventional wisdom says that big companies are unbeatable and they beat smaller companies. But now faster companies are beating slow companies. An asset base and brand equity are no longer good enough to carry companies through changing times or to sustain dominance and relevance. In fact, it may actually lead to your extinction. There's also a dangerous gap between a customer's sense of loyalty and emotional engagement and what companies can actually deliver. And finally, digital transformation is not a magical panacea. Forrester Research reports that over 50% of transformations will actually fail. Why? A lack of focus. Few firms will actually succeed. Some will panic, and many will resort to price to win in the market. Companies must change structure and cultures to become and remain agile to compete and win in today's market. Becoming a digital company, or a better or faster digital company, is more than just technology. And it's more than each of these 5 competencies working in isolation. What we need is speed. It's what I call the agility imperative. Most importantly, we need to drive that culture where the behaviors and norms that create that safe and trusted environment where it's okay to make mistakes and reward agility. Second, entrepreneurial leadership. We need to change the paradigm from incremental changes in thinking to thinking bigger, to have the courage and freedom to break away from the status quo. And finally, we need small, fast, and empowered teams. I believe that mastering the interplay between products, services, technology, processes, and human relationships will determine who wins. Key to this is moving from being customer aware to customer led. This entails going beyond the what and the how of customer behavior to truly reveal the why in understanding your customers' needs and motivations. We are all focused on building digital experience platforms that unify marketing, commerce, and customer service across our entire customer lifecycle. We all want to automate that experience from sign up through discover, quote, order, and ultimately fulfillment and billing. We want a frictionless channel where our customers avoid delays, obstacles, and manual touch points that disrupt their experience. Our transformation is built on 5 pillars. By investing in and building competency and talent in each of these 5 pillars, the business leadership has more confidence in our ability to deliver on the transformation and every one of our associates and employees understands what his or her contribution is to the transformation. Many organizations fail to simply explain their strategy that is both easy to understand, yet also inspirational to their teams. We must continue to grow e-commerce and the web self-service experience more specifically. Every phone call is lost profitability, and every bad experience is a potential lost customer. But there's another reason we need to further automate. It's changes in ordering behavior. Let's look at this from a supply chain perspective. From about 2014 to 2019, and across most industries, the percentage of orders shipped late has increased. The result? Penalties, expedited freight, and unsatisfied customers. Why does this happen? Orders are coming in later each day. Nearly 40% of all e-commerce orders come in after 5 p.m. local time. But you still have to meet the carrier pickup time to meet the customer's expectation of next day delivery. From receiving the order through your warehouse management system, through pick, pack, and ship, and ultimately through carrier pickup, there is an inherent 2 to 4 hour cycle time, which much of it is spent walking around the warehouse. But supply chain automation and robotics is a topic for another day. But to win the customer experience battle, one must also transform your supply chain. But this is not good enough. One needs to be even bolder. The everything as a service economy, one which has helped companies in the B2B space generate continuous revenue from their products, is now being eyed by consumer companies hungry for income that lasts beyond the initial purchase. This can range from data insights derived from IoT devices, from thermostats to wind turbines, to ongoing lifecycle maintenance of assets. Sales used to be the most important function, but maybe it's customer service, those who manage the customer lifecycle. Remember this customer lifecycle chart from earlier? We need to aim to convert every single touch point to a possible transaction, what I call the buy button. We also need to bundle everything as a service. A few years back, Gartner predicted by 2020, 80% of historical technology vendors would offer subscription-based business models. But how many of them are there already? I can tell you it's a race, but there's still several months left in 2020. What does this look like? At Ingram Micro, we're being bold, building the platform that enables this. Our order management algorithms recognize whether a sale is a physical SKU or a service or subscription. Technologies that allow for self-service onboarding of services, plus the metering, rating, billing, and renewal will bring richer customer experiences and higher profitability, and most importantly, customers for life. How do you get it done? Leveraging your ecosystem. What did I see? Probably the same thing you already know. Sales, marketing, digital, technology, supply chain, and other business leadership working together. It's not one person's job. We work with vendors and resellers, mining data that drives their decisions and behaviors in identifying early adopters. We work with technology partners and universities to co-innovate. Many talented employees, not just to deliver the transformation, but to help ideate. And finally, be willing to work with new and disruptive companies and partners, gather external insights. In closing, we all know that technology is pervasive, and we've talked a lot about customer experience, but in the end, it's people like you who need to get it done. It's all about leadership, rallying the team, orchestrating the efforts, sharing the vision, and driving the change. Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, recently spoke about EQ, or emotional quotient, being more important than IQ. He said, and I quote, "Be a source of energy for others, for without it, very little can be accomplished." Energy and the ability to energize others are tenets of behavior that were taught to me many years ago. In times like this, we need that courageous, energized mindset, one that helps push the limits of perceived human ability and forges unknown paths of discovery and challenges traditional ways of thinking. I've often used the term imagine if to get teams thinking about new ways of working. Be bold, be courageous, and drive your transformation with energy, urgency, and agility. Thank you.